Hello everybody, I am Angry Bird, back with more Steel Division 2 League. Group 1, game/leg number 2, Chinese Shaun versus Solo Wing Pixy. So, this match is on Shiano, and on the left hand side in red we have Chinese Shaun. He is playing Grupa Hartnick on Vanguard, and this is pretty much the same setup as previous game. I can't really see any difference in units for Chinese Shaun, so interesting. He has decided to stick with the same division. This time he is coming up against Solo Wing Pixy on the right hand side in blue, playing Panzerleia Vanguard income. So change of income for Solo Wing Pixy. This time he is on Vanguard, and maybe that's why Chinese Shaun decided to stick with the same division. That could possibly be a reason. So let's have a look at the Panzerleia deck. Very much plenty of light vehicles in A and B phase this time. Light recon vehicles, and so far in Steel Division League we have used or seen them used to quite a degree. So lots of players favouring these light recon vehicles that often have the autocannon. Sometimes, the Puma does have a fantastic main gun and tend to be quite fast moving. So the players obviously liking those. Let's have a look at the anti-tank tab and look at that. 3 A-phase cards of Jagdpanzer 4s along with 1 card of Pack 40. So Solo Wing Pixy definitely likes to buck the trend, I think, and he definitely creates decks in his own way. No B or C phase anti-tank. I guess the point is that with Panzerleias, the Panther D and the Panther Ds and the Tigers take up the job of anti-tank. So perhaps that's why he's built the deck as he has. Again, he's got the A-phase commander in that deck, although this time he has got A and B phase IG-18s, and those support guns can be really powerful units, so to have them in B phase as well, that's really going to help him out. In terms of artillery, he doesn't have much. He has the mortar half-tracks, and they can certainly do a very good job. Only the fighters, so not likely to see much airplay on the side of Solo Wing Pixy, but Chinese Shaun going to be relying on some of those ME410s to take out the heavy Panther Ds. So will be interesting if they come out a bit earlier this game from Chinese Shaun. Let's have a look at the deployment. We are on Shiano. Chinese Shaun on the left hand side, Solo Wing Pixy on the right hand side, and similar as before, Solo Wing Pixy deciding to set up with sort of a light vehicle on each of his 4 avenues of attack. Chinese Shaun on the left hand side, setting up what looks like potentially more defensive units in this southern area, and I'm guessing he's going to set up on this ridge and concede that southern town to Solo Wing Pixy. Often is the case on this map. Looks like definitely Chinese Shaun looking to attack this central northern town, and that's where the push is going to come through, I think, from Chinese Shaun. But so far, Solo Wing Pixy, he has the Pioneers up here, which will do a decent job against the infantry, but that T-34 at the moment, not much in the way of anti-tank up there. And yeah, I am noticing Solo Wing Pixy deciding to remove some of his lighter vehicles in that northern area, and perhaps he's deciding to go with a different approach. We'll see whether he puts those units back in there. Look, yes, the Jagdpanzer IV is going down, and that will definitely put some pressure on those T-34s in the top side. Definitely the strongest unit on the map at this current point in time. It will be interesting how this game goes, whether it will go differently than before. Shaun definitely had the advantage in the first game with the income, and he was able to push forward in A phase, but this time both players on the same income, so we'll see whether Solo Wing Pixy sets up as defensive as he did previously. He now has a second Jagdpanzer IV up on the northern side, and I'm imagining that's probably going to go into this light forest area here, and those two heavy units could prove really tough for Shaun to break through. Currently he only has the M42 anti-tank gun, so not going to be able to penetrate frontally very easily, and certainly going to rely on side shots, so those units could prove very difficult, and I wouldn't be surprised if an early ME410 comes out on the side of Shaun. So he is pushing for the town in the centre, and Solo Wing Pixy, all he has is a Puma and an IG-18, so Chinese Shaun could actually pick up these flags here. He's also pushing southern side, although Solo Wing Pixy a lot more infantry on this southern approach, and wow, yes, oh, look at this, interesting. So he microed the units off the road. Very interesting from Chinese Shaun, decision to micro those units out of harm's way, and certainly in the southern side the units are now coming under fire, although unloading in time. Ersatztruppen from Chinese Shaun does allow him to get a few more units in play, although the previous units that he'd taken off the road he's kind of put back on the road, and yeah, he's lost out some units there, and I think he should have just pushed them all in at once, and he would have been in that town by now. But he is now taking fire from the IG-18, and will take over these southern flags, so that does give him an early 15-9 lead. And look at this, pushing forwards with Ersatz and Stosstruppen into an area that really should be under the control of Solo Wing Pixy. Very nice play from Chinese Shaun there. I think overwhelming the numbers of Solo Wing Pixy. The decision to remove the lighter recon vehicles and go with the more expensive Jagdpanzers certainly has left him short on units elsewhere, and the numbers advantage certainly goes in favour of Chinese Shaun, although he has literally nothing here that can take out that Jagdpanzer. So yeah, I'd be surprised if he doesn't bring in an ME410. He is reinforcing with Panzer T-34s, but they won't be enough either. I think his best bet is to bring in that ME410. So it looks like Solo Wing Pixy's kind of cleared up this very southern side, and he is proceeding into the heavy forest with two Panzergrens, and they will lose out to the even the lower strength Stosstruppen as well as the Jagdpioneers. I can't see him winning that battle. The Jagdpanzer still there, kind of holding off the advance. Although the Ersatztruppen were making a break for it, but do get, well, may still make it actually. I thought the recon units had kind of discovered them, but I think they have now, and Solo Wing Pixy is moving in for the kill. But Chinese Shaun 15-9 up at the moment, and well, he will get the victory in 15 minutes time. The Solo Wing Pixy now bringing in a lot of recon vehicles, so it's kind of strange that he deleted them at the start, and then kind of first, second tick, he's brought them all in. So yeah, interesting decisions. He has stuck this Jagdpanzer 4 slap bang on the road, and yeah, it's not quite perfect positioning. The Chinese Shaun's managed to take up nice positions here. He has some reinforcing T-34s, so it will be interesting to see how that centre time proceeds. It looks like pushing forwards the Panzers and the M42 is not going to penetrate a Jagdpanzer 4 and will go down to another shot. Yes, it does, yeah. The Recon SPW 234, if that flanks round the back while the T-34s push forward, it could do a nice little flank. Everything pushing in the face of this Jagdpanzer, and it should take the punishment. He's just bouncing everything. Low knockout. Solo win Pixy just being able to afford time to reverse that. Does have a second one coming in, and I can't see how these units are going to push through against certainly 2 Jagdpanzer 4s. Shooter knockout, although the other Jagdpanzer comes into play and takes out one of the T-34s. The SPW 2341 is going for the flanking manoeuvre, and this could surround the entire northern push from Chinese Shaun, and he's bogged down. He cannot get through these Jagdpanzer 4s, and I think he's got to switch flank. He is now bringing in his own Jagdpanzers, the 38Ts, and they can penetrate. I did miss these units when I was talking about the Jagdpanzer 4s earlier, and they can penetrate, but very much defensive units, slow on, you know, to reinforce. And look at the 234/1 from Solo Wing Pixy behind enemy lines and pushing forwards and hoping to cover off this supply route here. Luckily has waited for the Jagdpanzer to go through, so great movement there from Solo Wing Pixy. But Chinese Shaun on the attack. Certainly he has the aggression at the moment, and he's got the numbers as well. The Jagdpanzer 4 coming into short range, looks like it's going to get side shots on these tanks. They do reposition and push forwards, and if they're able to use their speed to get around the sides of the Jagdpanzer, that will go down. It is reversing. It's trying as it can to reverse out the way. The Panther D Führer does come in, and it looks like it is going to save the day while this Jagdpanzer 4 reverses. So almost as if it was a little bait there, but certainly I don't think it was. That's that Panther D Führer came in literally at just the right time. So the Jagdpanzer cleans up the Panzer 34s, T-34s, but that Jagdpanzer comes in just in time as well, and crew panic, transmission destroyed. That Jagdpanzer 4 is bound to go down. The Fury unit in the centre goes down as well, and no infantry. Well, an understrength Pioneer squad on the side of Solo Wing Pixy, and only a Panther D. And if that Panther D Führer goes down, there's not going to be much left. So the Jagdpanzer 38T is now out of APCR ammunition, and it will really struggle. Yes, it does actually go down in the face of that Panther D, and the Jagdpanzer 4s have cleared up the northern sector, and really the heavy vehicles have kind of kept Shaun at bay so far in this game. He does still have a 15-9. These two flags in the centre really giving him a fantastic lead so far, and it's difficult to see. I mean, they are only held by Stoss Troop and Ersatztruppen, so against a significant push from Solo Wing Pixy, he would fairly easily be able to take back this central town position, but the longer he leaves it, the more chance Shaun has to bring in these supporting units such as the Jagdpanzer 38T and the Stu 42, and you know, the chance for Solo and Pixy to regain this area kind of lessens as time goes on. Solo and Pixy, he's having to react to this northern area, and all of his units have been very expensive so far. The Jagdpanzer 4s, the Panther D, you know, expensive units, so certainly does not have the numbers advantage at this time. And yes, the Jagdpanzer 4 in the north does go down to the Jagdpanzer 38T, and it's kind of a Jagdpanzer off at the moment. Jagdpanzer on Jagdpanzer. Which side will win out? It certainly looks like it's going to be Chinese Shaun at the moment. The Jagdpanzer 4 backing off, and if that goes down, literally only the Panther D there. 2 more reinforcing Panther Ds come in, and the thing for Solo Wing Pixy is these are expensive tanks coming in, and he's having to keep buying the tanks to hold off, you know, the advance of Chinese Shaun. But he really needs to get some infantry in here, but it's difficult. It's always difficult. You know, you put yourself in his shoes, and I'm sure, you know, I couldn't do a better job than what he's doing right now. He's certainly holding off that northern advance. He has the long range advantage in the south, and I think he's going to be able to hold off any southern push. And he is finally pushing into the town, and once he reveals those Ersatz-Truppen, the IG-18s should start to do work along with the Puma and an advancing IG-18. So if we remember from the decks, Solo and Pixy had a lot of IG-18 support guns, and he's really going to rely on those. As long as the heavy tanks can take out the armour on the side of Chinese Shaun, those IGs will make short work of the infantry, so he is relying on them. But Chinese Shaun just advancing and not stopping. I think this is the difference to the first game, is he has just continued to advance, and he hasn't really taken a breather, and it's not given Solo Wing Pixy a breather. And so far I feel like that might be the difference. 2 Panther Ds coming in for Solo Wing Pixy, and he needs to get the infantry unloaded and make an advance back into this city area, you know, as well as through this forest. So far he's finding it real tough work, and the 234/1 sort of constantly harassing but not really getting the killing blow on any of Shaun's units. The Tiger E's now coming in, and he's slowly building up his heavy tanks, and if he gets to that critical mass, then we could see him, you know, reversing the deficit. It is still 15-9. Chinese Shaun only has to hold out for 6 more minutes and he will get the victory. So definitely looking like a win for Chinese Shaun at this point in time. Solo Wing Pixy pushing forwards in the south and trying to make some plays coming around the southern side with this Puma, and if that Jagdpanzer 38T goes down, there's probably not a lot left to stop the advance of Solo Wing Pixy. Just as I'm saying that, Chinese Shaun bringing in the Tiger E, and yeah, just doing enough. Looks like Solo Wing Pixy picking up another flag in that centre ground, but still 15-9 down, and we'll lose the game in 5 minutes time. The advancing Pioneers taken out by Shaun's Reiter Jägers, and the Jaeger Pioneers backed up by the Battery Führer, 3-star Reiter Jägers, 2-star Pioneers. This time he has the veterancy advantage over Solo Wing Pixy. He has now started to pick up or pick off the units in the northern side, but it'd be interesting to see how this Tiger fares. It has a Tiger of its own to take on, as well as a Panther D, you know, and a Jagdpanzer 4 if that repositions. I'd like to see this Jagdpanzer forward move forward to the edge of this forest, and it can take out any reinforcements. Looks like Shaun has realised the threat of that happening and has brought in a pack 40 and will, put it up in position to literally block that movement. So, great notice from Shaun, and does lose the Tiger E. The number advantage in the heavy tank department was on Solo Wing Pixie's side. So, Solo Wing Pixie picks up another flag, now down to a 13-11. So he is losing, and he will lose in 9 minutes time if it continues, but he is starting to, regain the momentum in this northern side. And if in the very north, if you look at the number of units, wow, it's certainly on the side of Solo Wing Pixie at the moment. Picking up the central town flags, pushing Shaun back, and look at this Puma, very advanced forward, gets the falling back shot on the Tiger E, and really I'd want to be pushing that Puma forwards as fast as I can and potentially, I was going to say trying to pick up the surrender, but actually with it being a recon vehicle it won't affect the front line, so wouldn't be able to pick up that surrender, but will continue to fire at the Tiger E and does take it out. Excellent play by Solo Wing Pixie. Brings it back to a 12-12, and wow. The Puma in the south taking shots at the Tiger E. Does he get a side shot? It looks like it did. Get a crew bannock and the loader knockout. Can he take out another one? And that would be exceptional. If he could take out 2 of those Tiger E's in quick succession, wow, the game could swing heavily in his favour. Again, the Puma E kind of standing off, taking shots. Can it take down this Tiger E? This would be exceptional work if it can. Not sure it's going to quite penetrate. Does only have a very low percentage chance to do so. 100mm of penetration against 125mm of frontal armour. And the Puma now, is in trouble. The Tiger does now recover its advantage, and backing off was the correct play there. Again, backing off here against the Panther 3N. Potentially a good play, but look at this central ground. I mean, wow, what a turnaround from Solo Wing Pixie. He goes 13-11 up, will now win the game in 33 minutes time, but what a turnaround. Did not see this coming at all. Look at the units in this central area. I mean, even picking up the flag here, wow. If Solo Wing Pixie continues this attack, I don't think Shaun could hold off. It's kind of collapsed in this southern central area, and Shaun's got to hold on to this city for dear life, really, to keep him in the game. Luckily he's only 13-11. If he picks up this flag again, he'll bring it back to a 12-12, and then they can, he can kind of stabilise and work out how he's going to move forwards. But Solo Wing Pixie, not realising this flag's not taken either, and if he took this flag he could extend his lead even further. He's now at a 14-10, sort of dancing around this compound here, back down to a 13-11, and will win the game in 31 minutes. If it stays the same, it's certainly looking in Solo Wing Pixie's favour right now, looking to pick up the full 3 points from victories in Game 1 and Game 2. The Huzaroks of Shaun do come in, and these are beefy 16-man squads, and they are fantastic infantry units, so Solo Wing Pixie will struggle to take them out. The Tiger E, beautiful kill on the Puma, and it looks like the other Puma in the centre, I think it's here, went down as well. So Solo Wing Pixie, needs to bring in the Panther Ds and probably move up this Tiger E as well. He is doing that. So at the moment he's got recon units on the front line, and they are fantastic against light, infantry and light vehicles, but against heavy tanks they can't deal with them. And Solo Wing Pixie needs to get the Panthers into play. In the town, Shaun still holding on. He has no anti-tank on his infantry. So the SPW 234 is in a decent position, and as each unit gets revealed, he is now using this SPW to manoeuvre around. And great play by Solo and Pixy. The very north area has kind of stabilised. The commandant being brought in to buff the Pack 40 there up to 2 stars, and as well as the Reiterführer leader there. You know, it's interesting the use of this commandant. Nice positioning. Sometimes personally I forget to use these commandants, and they can instantly give the 2-star buff to the unit that they're next to. So decent play. The positioning of this Tiger E is fantastic. Just holding this supply route. I mean, I'd expect to see these Pioneers move forward at any second now, because this supply road is kind of shut down now, and Solo and Pixy has the opportunity to advance into this town knowing that nothing can come through to reinforce. So I'd expect to see infantry. Yeah, there we go, there's the order of the Panzergrenadiers. I'd expect to see that being the next attack from Solo and Pixy. In the very south, he is coming up against some opposition now. He has allowed Shaun to reinforce, but the Tiger E goes down, and that is a massive blow. If these Panzer IIIs don't, you know, pick up kills, I can't see how they are going to against a Tiger and a Panther. Then he's going to be outnumbered in this bottom side. Solo and Pixy still 13-11 up, and will win the game in 29 minutes. So the Pack 40 there takes out the infantry in that southern compound, and it leaves it open. Solo Wing Pixy picking up another flag. 14-10 now, and it's looking increasingly difficult to Shaun to hold off this southern central area. Does lose a Tiger to a Pack 40, and that's a big loss. That was kind of holding the reinforcement zone, and this Panther D's in trouble as well. So, yep, does go down to the Pack 40. Beautiful little Pack 40 spot there. But now being engaged by the IG-18, and probably will take that one out as well. And that Pack 40's kind of saved this central area just as the Panzergrenadiers were coming through to make that attack into the centre. I'd have liked to have seen these Pioneers push up earlier, but I think it's too late now. The supporting units, wow, the IG-18 somehow just managing to take out that Pack 40, and this is quite tight now. Shaun could get into a position to stabilise, so he's still got plenty of time on the clock. So if he does, you know, he's not out of this game yet. I think for a moment I was kind of thinking he was done for, but I think that Pack 40 taking out the Tiger and the Panther certainly helped him out in that central area. It doesn't look like it's under as much pressure as it was, and he needs to deal with this southern area though. This is looking, you know, particularly difficult. He's currently relying on these Panzer 3Ns, and he has 4 of them. They do have the heat shells, but it's they would be in very close proximity to the heavy tanks. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting engagement in the northern side. Still very much a bit of a standoff now, and a couple of units for Shaun have been picked off in this centre town, and he's got to ensure he doesn't lose that flag, because at the moment he's got time, but if he loses to a 15-9, then that time suddenly evaporates. Pack 40 being, or bailing out, and probably taking out as well one of the Panzer 3Ns, but they're excellent at dealing with anti-tank guns in numbers. The HE damage on the main gun much better than a normal tank, so can take them out fairly easily if you have the numbers advantage. Solo Wing Pixy pressing the attack, and he needs to get an infantry unit down into this southern compound. Potentially, I mean, he has the pioneers back here, and he has quite a few IG-18s that, you know, there's 2 back here that he's not using. He kind of needs to move these forwards and get them into the game. Somehow 2 squads of Stormtrooper are still surviving in the centre, and down goes the Panther Führer, taken out by the Tiger E at the top of the hill. That's a big blow. Still has the Tiger E here though, and while that's in play, Solo Wing Pixy still has the advantage, but another Tiger E coming in now, and if this Tiger goes down on the side of Solo Wing Pixy, we could see an advance from Shaun. Tiger engaging the recon half track, and should take that out fairly easily. Yeah, there it goes down the way. Panzer 3N's doing a fantastic job at clearing out the infantry. In comes a Opel Blitz munition, and I think it's trying to resupply this bailed out Panzer 3N, and reasonable choice. Those Panzer 3Ns are doing a decent job right now for Shaun, and down goes another unit, and in comes a lot of infantry being brought in from Shaun, and the Tiger E's retreating. Solo Wing Pixy not liking this current situation, and it looks like Chinese Shaun will pick up the flag and return it to a 12-12. So yeah, if we now look at the centre ground, very much even now, whereas before Solo Wing Pixy definitely had the advantage. Shaun has stabilised that southern flank. Not much more happening in the north, although a mortar half track coming in, potentially looking to root out some of these Pack 40 positions. So Shaun advancing with the Jaeger Pioneers and taking command of this southern side once more. If Solo Wing Pixy doesn't bring in some reinforcements, then my feeling is this southern side will get overrun. Shaun does bring it back to a 12-12, however, Solo Wing Pixy advancing into the city. He's kind of using the time he had with the advantage in the south to reinforce this city area, and if he can take down this Pack 40 here, I think he definitely can have the advantage. The mortar half track coming in and pinning down the battery Führer, but the Pack 40 bails out and now takes out the recon half track. That Pack 40 is holding up the advance. If he can take out this Pack 40, there's nothing stopping him to push through. The northern Pack 40 bails out the Panther D, and the mortars do try and come in on that position. He has now taken out the Pack 40, and he can advance unopposed. Look at this, picks up both flags here, goes back to a 14-10, and just as Shaun thought he'd stabilised, he's back down into the defeat, and will lose the game in 22 minutes time unless he recovers. But this southern side, you know, is looking relatively bare on the side of Solo Wing Pixy. Down goes the Tiger E, and massive loss there. The two advancing Tigers of Shaun. Wow, this Pack 40 is all that's left to hold back the onslaught, and with all of these Panzer III's, this Pak 40 will not last. Let's look at the fire coming in. It looks like they're concentrating on the IG. Now they should reposition and fire on the Pak 40. Here they come. Yep, the Pak 40 now stressed out and will probably get taken out in the next volley. Redirecting fire onto the IGs, and you know, once that falls, there's nothing here. So yeah, Chinese Shaun could pick up a lot of territory, and those two Sosstruppen, they were there from the start. They've regained the territory in that central town, and all of a sudden back to a 12-12. And once this battery Führer goes down, I can imagine the front line's going to substantially flip. One Panther D coming in, another one ordered, but is it going to be enough? So the northern flank has kind of stalled for Solo Wing Pixy. He is using the mortar half tracks to kind of push back the infantry, but a lot of the units have gone down, and infantry wise he's only got these two Panzergrens that, you know, and these two Panzergrens here that are kind of holding forwards the territory. So not sure he's going to make massive gains there. The the Pioneer Führer has managed to retreat and kind of continues to contest the ground, but I'm not sure how long he can hold on for with the advancing Huzaroks. And well, Shaun up 13-11 and will win now in 7 minutes time, so he's back in Shaun's favour. And if we look at the overall number of troops, whew, what a turnaround. Definitely, I think, less on the side of Solo Wing Pixy now. Shaun does seem to have the advantage, and let's see if it continues in the same manner that it has. The two Panzergrens there of Solo Wing Pixy, he's pushing them very far forward, and there's only two of them left, and it seems a waste, because as soon as they die, you know, there's no infantry left on this northern side. There's a Panther D, and then, you know, that could be a bad loss. And down go the Pioneer Führer, finally lose, and look at the territory swing. This should tell Shaun that there is nothing left here. The Panther D died to the onslaught of the Tigers, and look, he's going to pick up another flag as well. 14-10. He will win the game in 6 minutes time. The IG is retreating here, and wow, this southern side is collapsed, but this time it's collapsed from the perspective of Solo Wing Pixy. The Tiger E looking to move around and cover the central town, and Solo Wing Pixy does lose out those two Panzergrens, pushing forwards with recon vehicles in front of his Panther D, but no infantry to hold the ground, so he doesn't realise what's here, obviously. But he isn't going to win in this position. He doesn't know that though, so you know, we can't hold him down for that. Continuing to scout forward with those recon vehicles and looking for targets for the Panthers, but he has reinforced this southern compound, and all the Hungarian troops are just pushing forwards, and there's no stop to them. Certainly the numbers advantage in favour of Shaun, and only 5 minutes left on the clock. One of the recon vehicles does go down now, probably the Jagdpanzer 38T, and potentially actually the Tiger E's down here. And yeah, these Tiger E's moving into position to 2 versus 1 the Panther D, and as well as the Jagdpanzers coming in and the Tiger in the north. Yeah, Solo Wing Pixy is looking in real trouble right now. The problem is, before, when Solo Wing Pixy broke through in the central area, Chinese Shaun at least had the northern side under his control, so he could forget about that and reinforce the entire southern area. But right now, Solo Wing Pixy is collapsing everywhere across the front, so ultimately he's got to reinforce everywhere across the front, and he just doesn't have the points to do that. So looking like a defeat for Solo Wing Pixy now. 15-9 down, we'll lose the game in 2 minutes time. I mean, this IG is holding a hell of a lot of territory as well, and when that goes down, you know, it's probably another flag lost, and I think this is it now. Chinese Shaun losing out in the first game playing the Hartnick division, but picking up the win in the second game. Pushing forwards, the decision from Solo Wing Pixy to change from the balanced income to the Vanguard income. I mean, interesting decision. The Tigerese taking up beautiful positions to overlook the IG-18 there. Solo Wing Pixy just hanging on to this town, but less than a minute on the clock. The complete northern push has failed, and there's no way he's going to rescue this game now. Panther D's being pushed forwards, and this Huzarok moving into position potentially could get a decent side kill on this Panther D. Not quite in the right position. He is now moving forwards and should get this shot off. Here it comes. Ooh, doesn't quite get the first shot. Will he get a second anti-tank grenade off? Just gets the driver kill, and right at the end of the game. Wow. Victory for Shaun. Minor victory, 36 minutes, 5 seconds. Let's have a look at the team stats. Shaun does get 4,000 kills to 3,500 losses. So definitely the value on the side of Shaun in this game. And I thought for a moment that southern central area Shaun had lost it, and he certainly looked to have collapsed, but very well played to kind of keep cool and stabilise, because often, you know, I've played this game, you know, you can certainly collapse on one flank, and at times you don't realise that you've still got half an hour left to stabilise and then push forward again. And Shaun, you know, he recognised he was in trouble, but he certainly didn't falter under the pressure, and regained positions, restabilised and re-pushed forwards, and ultimately won in the southern area. So excellent play, well done to Shaun. So let's have a look at the kills on his side. That Pack 40 there doing a tremendous job, taking out 2 Panther Ds and a Tiger E. Excellent work. And the second Pack 40 taking out the Jagdpanzer 4, a Tiger E and 2 Panther Ds. I think the artillery fire on the side of Solo Wing Pixy was lacking until the very end, so those Pack 40s, once they got in position, there was, you know, they weren't countered immediately by artillery fire, so they were allowed to pick off units, and he certainly picked off a few very heavy units in that northern area. The Panzer III's did a fantastic job stabilising that southern flank, and I was worried that they wouldn't be able to do it alone, but they certainly held up the attack, and once the Tigerese came in and took out the remaining heavy tanks in that southern area, you know, that was it, and they were able to push through again. So those Panzer III's not to be underestimated, and very good value units as well. If I remember right, they are 30 points. I may not be 100% correct on that, but very cheap units for what they deliver on the battlefield. Losses wise, well, the Pumas did a fantastic job again. Not quite as good as the first game, the use of those Pumas, but very well played. The Panther D Führer, if we look at these 3 Panther D units, I think this is kind of what turned it around mid-game, because Shaun certainly had the advantage early game, and then suddenly I think he came up against a wall of Panthers and he couldn't get through. He then collapsed in the south, but was able to restabilise, and yeah, certainly was a great game to watch. So Shaun picks up the win, and that ties the 2 games. So both players receive 1 point in the league table, and once we catch up in games, I will show you the league table at the end, but at the moment I don't want to show it because it will reveal the result of future casts, but look forward to seeing that and you'll get an idea of how things are progressing. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I will catch you next time.